So, in the words of the great American Donald Trump,
death, death, horrible death, death, I don't know.
Hello and welcome
Are we there yet? Are we there
to
yet?
another episode of Kill Jason Statham.
Oh, they keep making them, huh?
They keep making him. They keep putting him in movies. I think he's genuinely underrated as an actor. I am November Kelly. I am joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Hello.
What's up? My desperate attempt to make November take the weekend off has failed.
I will never do it.
And she's here. So
I will never do it.
What's a weekend?
Ask me when my dissertation is due.
when is your dissertation due?
Soon! Right.
Fucking why are you here?
I don't know.
Because she respects the art of podcasting and
That's
she
right,
cares about
that's
our
right.
genuine friend, the listener.
That is true. And also
2
we did
a.m.
a
last
Moby
night.
Dick style blood oath in which
Yes.
we were all sworn to talk about, weirdly, specifically the movie Transporter 3.
Yeah.
So in order to avoid the consequences of
That's fair,
that
that's
blood
fair.
oath, I'm gonna lead us through having seen the Transporter 3, the third movie in the Transporter franchise.
Yes.
And they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, it's just kind of sputtering to a halt, really. It's not very good. It's not very good.
This is the thing. If your pitch is he's like Agent 47 hitman guy, except his deal is he drives really good and he has a cool
Yeah.
car. I feel like you can go in a bunch of different directions with that, other than he has to transport a woman and then he falls in love with the woman.
Yeah.
Listen, the problem is that somewhere in the production of this good idea ran into a character who I don't think is named, but he's probably somewhere in the production process, called Le Racist Pedophile. and it just it fucked the whole thing up so badly.
There's less paedophilia in this one.
But not none.
Not none.
Yeah.
Which is my bar for as much
Yeah,
as I
yeah,
would like
true,
to see
yes.
is none.
Yeah,
so,
true.
It is
yeah.
French, yes.
This
Yeah.
is the thing, and also
We're meaningful reform on that? No.
I feel like every time I watch a French movie, I have to be exposed to the existence of a French guy who works in media name, and in this case, it's the director who is named Olivier Megaton.
Olivier Megaton is, that's
Cool.
pretty good.
Make no
That's
mistake,
pretty
however, much like Corey Yuen was in the last movie, Olivier Megaton is a cat's paw for Luc Besson, who wrote this movie, and whose legacy is still, don't make a little
Don't do
cat
that.
paw motion.
I liked it. It was a cute expression.
So Luc Besson, his fingerprints are all over this movie.
Paw prints.
Luc Besson, Monsieur acquitted of all charges
Yeah.
himself.
Not Le Racist Pedophile.
His fingerprints are all over this movie and nothing else.
No, that's a
I don't mean
coincidental
Luc
factor.
Besson.
No.
The Racist Pedophile is a different guy who is involved in the process.
Luc Besson
is cleared of all
divorced
charges.
his wife, who he met at 15, at 17 after she had his child, and that is a legal thing to do in France. So we can impute no negative. Then I can impute some negative things to the fucking Luc Besson. But so he made basically made the first movie, the second movie, the third movie, and it stinks of Luc Besson.
Well, he's also made the first movie twice now.
Well, yes,
Because
exactly.
this is
Yes,
kind
he
of
did.
functionally a very
This
similar
is
film.
the first movie again.
They did a reboot of this and a TV series.
No.
Really?
We're spared the TV series at least, but we are going to have to watch the Transporter Refueled.
Refueled.
Well, they
No, that's good.
recast,
That's great.
yeah.
Oh.
But so we begin with what wants so badly to feel like the opening of a Bond movie.
Yes, it does. It does
It
have
does,
that energy,
yeah.
doesn't it?
You have a Bond aping score. You have a container ship at sea, and there's two guys who are trying to break into one of the containers in search of illicit booze. But instead of illicit booze, they find illicit ooze.
They're turned into turtles.
Yes, because for some reason they are transporting in like a kind of a metal barrel some insanely caustic ooze.
toxic waste.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
get
which-
melted and their bodies
Yeah.
are dumped overboard.
They kill those two guys. Everybody else has to like put on gas masks. At which point I go and look up what the gas masks are. Polish MP4s. Best of luck with those cheek filters, boys. But so yeah, the point is, you know that this ship is secretly transporting the horrible goo
Toxic
that
waste,
melts
yeah.
you, right?
And because we're in 2008, at this point we cut to Marseille, where most of the movie is set. But we don't just cut there and have like a title card that says Marseille. We cut there about 50 times. We've got like the 2000s schizo editing, where it's like.
Yeah, we fucking do.
There's a
Christ.
specific thing as well where every
Fucking
time
Mr.
they do
Beast
a
video.
cut, the lighting director flashes a flashlight in your eyes.
Yeah.
It's
And I'm
really
just like,
good.
"Whoa,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, it's good when I associate a movie doing a fairly normal scene with my startle reflex going off a bunch of times.
November having to be coaxed back to watch the movie like a frightened horse. Just the rest of the polycule just like.
It's okay. It's all right.
petting.
Don't worry.
Took a lot of sugar lumps to get me to watch this movie.
It's like they were trying to 3D scan the Good Mother statue. It's just like from like 50 angles at once. It's like great.
One of the
Amazing.
cool cars that
I'm in
for a
Marseille.
second you think is Jason Statham's cool car is being driven across into the French border at Marseille, containing a guy who is not Jason Statham and a hot
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
French Kit Harington.
Yeah.
Is it
No, it's
Kit
not Kit
Harington.
Harrington.
Keith
But it's a
Harington.
French guy who looks like Kit
Yeah, yeah,
Harington.
Keith Harington?
And also a woman who,
Get
again, you
everything.
can intuit because in the second movie we talked about casting models being a bit of a kind of luck of the draw situation. We again see a woman who is clearly a model, who looks like a model, who also acts like a model, and her role in this scene is to be asleep in the back seat while they get waved through French customs, and I get a flashlight shined in my eyes 50 times.
Natalia Rudakova. This,
I think she does a serviceable job in this.
does fine.
does
She does.
decent.
fine.
It's not a good
She does
role.
fine for this being like her first movie role.
Yeah.
you
There's
know?
a problem with the paperwork, though. And so they get chased. And so intercut with this car chase, we also have Frank Transporter and his gay lover.
This is a level
Yes.
of confidence that
Yes,
I
we
like
do.
about any franchise that lasts into its third movie. It just feels very strange to do it for Frank Transporter, where
Yeah.
you know how sometimes like in like a mid-tier Bond movie, they'll introduce Bond just being up to some shit that isn't particularly glamorous or espionage. Like he's in a fucking chalet.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Well, in this case, he is on a fishing date with his boyfriend, Tarone. There is a fucked
Yep.
Statham bucket hat, which I appreciate a lot.
Yeah.
But my problem, first movie begins with a really neat car chase where they drive to a kind of cheap location to film in, and they have the silly little gay French police car that reproduces asexually. Right.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of this when there's like 50 or 60 little like French police Citroens like hooting and honking behind a car. They show up in Ronin as well. Yeah, like geese, like beautiful
good, it's
geese. In this movie,
beautiful
they
geese.
have the budget for 2 silly little gay French police cars,
I know.
and it
Love
sucks.
They just have to drive past them like a couple of times.
Yeah, yeah, and you will notice is the thing, which is yeah. The direction is also even more easily distracted. The cuts between shots would kill an epileptic child.
Yeah, the editing in this one is not good and gets worse as we go through.
Meanwhile, Jason Statham is
Olivier
like
Megaton. What do you know?
fishing, and they're
There's a
doing
sense of humor. He pranks. Frank pranks. Frank pranks.
yeah.
He attaches a weight belt to Inspector Tarcone's line as he's like dozed off and makes him think he's got a big fish. And also he says, "You must have hooked Moby Dick, Inspector," which is a weird coincidence that links back to a
Duality.
bonus
Yeah.
episode on Moby Dick that we just recorded.
Yeah. We get some
Yeah.
Anglo-French cultural dialogue about whether or not Jerry Lewis is funny.
There is no heterosexual explanation for why Inspector Tarcone is still here. There's no way to make it make sense why this unrelated police chief followed Frank Transporter from Nice to Miami to Marseille.
Well, so he was in Miami on holiday, but this now suggests that Jason Statham has moved back to France in order to be with him, which is so sweet.
Which is very romantic. It is nice.
yeah,
It's sweet.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
I will say the kind of Anglo-French unity here. The establishment fears this.
It does. I got your back, brother.
It is Anglo because Jason Statham has entirely given up on the accent at this stage.
Yeah,
He's
no,
just
no
doing
chance,
Jason
not at
Statham
all.
voice.
I mean, Tarcone sounds weird too because, like, as the actor's getting older, he sounds more and more like a Sith Lord. Like,
He does.
Oh, I hope he's in the fourth one. I really
Jerry
do.
Lewis is a pathway to powers some might consider unnatural. So we get this car chase through Marseille, right?
We do, yeah. It's again, the editing is just so frenetic. Like the shots are seconds long, frames long.
And Tarcone gets the call and they have to abandon the fishing and go. Then we cut to Ukraine.
Yes. Where we see
Yes.
one of the classic like 2000s bad guys out of place in the 2010s. If you remember the kind of like sharp suits, gelled hair, insane facial hair arrangement style of bad guy, like
Hell yeah.
corporate bad guy, he shows up in like sort of. There's a little bit of this in the Tomorrow Never Dies, World's Not Enough kind of Brosnans to put in a Bond context, right? This is that guy.
Yeah.
This is Mr.
Robert-
Johnson, not very
Mr.
imaginatively
Johnson.
named.
No,
But he gets
enters
off a private
Ukraine.
jet because the enemy arrives by private jet.
Correct.
He enters Ukraine and we get the misogyny villain because the border guard is a lady and he's
Whoa.
like checking her out.
Yes, hello to this Ukrainian border service lieutenant.
Yeah, he's checking her out.
Yes,
Meanwhile, I'm checking out the shape of her beret, which is
Yeah,
unsatisfactory.
not good, I'm afraid. You will be asked to leave the LARP and come back when you have molded your beret.
I
Hot water,
You're fishing.
cold water,
You're
put
fishing.
it on your head.
the LARP was very, very inclusive about uniform policy, which did drive
Shouldn't
me a
have been.
little bit
Fucking
insane.
shouldn't be.
Shouldn't have been. That's step one of the LARP is you have to get the fucking uniform, right? What are you doing here?
Yeah, come on.
It's you got to make the thing accessible. You know, it's like you can't have you're gonna lose talented role players if you're like you have to have this
accessibility
many.
is letting disabled people like join, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not letting people who are lazy join. All right, that is different.
I don't.
I have utmost respect for anyone differently abled.
Does the A in LARP stand for accessibility? I don't think it does.
I have no respect for someone who can't shape their fucking beret.
Please stop being so mean about the people who I spent a lovely weekend with.
Yeah, I'm sure they were so nice. I'm sure they were so lovely.
I have
Like,
never LARPed. I'm sure it's
know
great,
for a
but you know,
fact
if
they
I
were
want to dress up in a
wonderful.
costume,
Multiple of them came up to me afterwards and said, "This is kind of embarrassing, but I'm a huge fan of the podcast."
That's
And now
great.
their exposure to that
obviously.
is
Like, great.
you
That's
two
great.
fucking clowns.
no.
You're saying at a LARP there were a lot of our fans. That's
Yeah,
that's,
no,
great.
crazy,
that's
right?
unfortunate. I gotta get some cooler fans. I gotta get some.
No, that's cool. And LARPing is cool. It sounds good. Although you know, if I ever want to dress up in fancy costumes and pretend to be somebody else, I get paid for it. But anyway,
It's true. It's
You
true.
have to pay for it themselves.
there's a minister with the EU.
I have nothing but respect for everyone who did the LARP.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Sounds
I'm
sick as
glad-
hell.
Thank you for
It really
giving
does.
November a nice weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a
Indeed.
minister with the EU who's he's pro-environment. He likes the environment. He lives
He
in it,
is,
actually, as we
yeah.
all do. And listeners, have you
Leonid.
ever seen a little independent film? You might not have heard of it. It's called The Matrix. There's a bit in this which is also ripped off from The Matrix again, because the minister finds an envelope on his desk which has a ringing slidey phone inside. It's
Yeah, picks it up and
Matrix.
it's like, "You look
cool.
beautiful today, Pamela."
Yeah.
And you hear Moby outside.
Moby Dick. Moby
I
Dick
was
was
going to say,
calling
the way we establish his credentials as an environmentalist is we have journalists be like, "Hey, what's up with the environmentalism?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck over some like corporate scum." But this is all happening in a cascade of different comedy Eastern European accents. And once again, I deploy the
We have big plan, you know.
so
Yeah.
he picks up the phone and he is immediately blackmailed by Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, you will find some photos in that envelope of something that we think you may find. He's not German, I'm just doing that for fun. That we think you may
No, he's
find
American.
interesting.
Making
Yeah.
a better movie in your head interesting.
Yeah.
This too is LARP, you realize. Like,
Oh, it's all LARP? Always has
it
been.
turns out, yeah, the whole thing always has been.
Fuck.
Yeah, so he's being blackmailed in order to sign a contract with EcoCorp, which is like your classic corporate villains. They're all
Yeah.
Americans, or at least they're all playing Americans. They've all been ADR'd by people playing
Yeah.
Americans.
Yeah.
And they are going to, nefariously dump all this toxic ooze in Ukraine.
They're going to kill Captain Planet. They're going to outlaw bunny rabbits and kittens and all good things.
Yeah, all the
Meanwhile,
classic stuff.
Yes.
Across town in Marseille, really across town from Ukraine.
Across Europe.
Yeah, across
the borderless network of supply and trade in
Europe.
Marseille.
Thank you, yes. Francis Transporter is having maybe the most dad-coded evening, and I'm growing kind of inexpressibly fond of him at this point, in the same way as the Roger Moore thing, where I'm getting Stockholm syndrome, because he has fallen asleep watching the fishing. Question mark?
He's living a primarily fishing-based lifestyle.
Yeah, he's eaten his
He's
fish, and then in front of a TV which is showing fishing, where do they televise that?
I love fish.
He's just fallen asleep. He's also moved out of his lighthouse into a horrible Grand Design style new build.
Well, we recall the lighthouse was destroyed.
Well, I mean, you can repair a lighthouse, I'm pretty certain. He's chosen to move into the kind of absolutely horrendous place that Kevin MacLeod would watch a couple bankrupt themselves building.
Yeah, unlike a lighthouse.
Well, okay, listen, but the lighthouse
got
was
your ass
historic at least. I don't
yeah.
like how much I'm getting clowned on this
I'm
episode.
not trying to clown on you.
Hey, if the big shoe fits.
The whole
Abby
point
is.
of the big
Abby
shoe
is
is
trying
that
to
it
clown on you.
doesn't. That's why it's big.
You know an awful lot about clowning.
Been working with you for years. So, at this point,
The plot crashes through Francis Transporter's wall.
Yeah.
yeah.
Worryingly CGI car crash. Worryingly CGI.
Can't park there, mate.
Yeah.
Car comes through his front door.
Kit Harington has driven a BMW or whatever through his front
Audi,
wall.
I think, yeah.
And he does
It's the guy from before.
he does a fascinating thing here, which is well, first of all, he flashes back because
The
He
flashback
recognizes the guy. He recognizes him. He's
diabolical.
like, "Oh, Malcolm, it's you." And then he flashes back.
to a time when a guy called, and this is a perfect name in the credits, not in the script situation. Mighty Joe hired him for a job. I've been thinking about Mighty Joe for about a month because I read the synopsis of this long before we ever saw it, and so I've been casting around in my head for like, we got to rename the big guy, right?
Yeah, we
like
do,
that archetype, because I rewatched Blazing Saddles and I'm like, I think maybe Mel Brooks was lying when he said that wasn't problematic. And so
One option we went with was Kronk.
yeah, Kronk
could
is
be
an
a
option, but textually, just reading the synopsis, I was like, this is a Mighty Joe. I like the sound of a Mighty Joe.
Okay, sure.
I'm
let's try that.
very happy to try out Mighty Joe.
Sure.
Mighty Joe is a large man,
Big
certainly.
henchman.
He's very muscular, big
about
henchman.
this, yeah.
And he's like,
Mr.
listen,
Surname and Mighty Joe. Yeah.
he's trying to like sexy beast.
Okay.
Frank Transport. He's trying to be like, do the job or else. And when Frank is like, I'm retired, I'm going on a date, I don't want to do the job.
Frank's like, I don't really transport anymore. I'm running a stable of transporters. I can give you the name of like some up and coming transport talent.
Yeah, you get out of content creation into management.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm like managing some other transporters. I sometimes do some of their like live chats. You think you're talking to them, but like it's just me.
I transport a bit on the side, but like, you know, it's just to keep the muscles like flexed is all.
And actually, even I'm actually outsourcing a lot of the live chats to a call center in the Philippines, which is why some of it, like the grammar's not great, and some of the fans can tell at this point, but it's just a little. they're jerking off with the other hand, so it's fine, like whatever.
That rapidly moved out of my
Talk about
comprehension. That
OnlyFans.
shifted.
Unusually specific beat. It's like watching a missile home in on some coordinates, and they're not yours. So you're like, I don't know what the fuck's happening over there, but they're getting
Talk
fucked
about
up.
OnlyFans.
Someone just got fucking nuked.
Yeah. So Frank is like, I don't transport anymore, but I can put you in touch with a guy who can, Kit Harington.
Yeah.
Kit Harington is currently like driven through his front wall. And so, because he, Mighty Joe does warn him, like, my boss is not a guy who takes no for an answer. And Frank then has to get in a fight.
Yes.
Oh.
My notes here say, worst fight editing I've ever seen. Presumably Frank wins because he walks away.
Yeah, genuinely.
He gets his jacket torn off, which I like.
Difficult to keep track of who is doing what, where anyone is. Like, it's just so many quick shot cuts. Like, they're trying to sell the punches by having them hit, and then you cut to like shift the momentum, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all.
No.
It's
How do
confusing.
You squander Corey UN like that? But so he does some first aid on the guy, which is to say he takes his pulse, realizes he's alive. Then he finds woman in the back of the car, and his immediate first aid step for her is to take her wig off.
Yeah, smart.
I know.
Frank transphobic for her. So he calls an ambulance.
Clocks away instantly.
Well, actually, he doesn't notice the 10 out of 10 smoke show in the back seat until the EMTs arrive and take Malcolm away, and then Frank looks in the back seat and realizes there's someone else in there, and I'm like, nobody else looked in the back seat?
These guys are getting a bad grade in EMT.
He checks the driver's seat because he only cares about drivers. He's like, I don't care about the transporter.
That's true, yeah.
Never open the package.
Yeah, not
respect
interested.
the car, respect the man.
So he finds a woman in the
Those
car,
rules are gone.
which is not a man. And she's got a funky bracelet on, and she's like, you can't get out of the car. You can't get too far away from the car. Frank realizes what's up because Malcolm also had a bracelet on. He chases the ambulance down the road, and the ambulance blows up 5 times.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's weird that they had the mule from Rambo 3 in the mix as well.
Yeah, it sucks.
The fucking links from
and then Frank gets knocked
Zorro.
out.
Yeah,
Somebody knocks him out from behind.
Mighty Joe has done a fantastic piece of like Robert Duvall in The Godfather stealth, like off-screen stealth, because he has just sneaked into Frank Transporter's house and incredibly like perfect stealth kill punched him in the back of the head the second he realized.
Yeah, it's cool.
So Frank wakes up in like a holding cell. He's got his shirt off again because we have to see Jason Statham's chest a bunch in this. Very vascular man is Jason Statham.
Yeah, he looks good,
Yeah,
if you're into that sort of thing. I'd still, it's not breaking the lesbian force field for me in the way that Alexander Skarsgård did. I think because he's too clean. I'm like, you got to put some grease on him.
Yeah, you got to mud that guy up.
Susan Sontag, essence of eroticism is palpability.
Yes,
you got to grease this boy.
You got to make it look a little bit more pathetic.
Yeah, you ever seen any of the like Tour de France coverage where it's a bunch of like incredibly muscular twinks covered in like mud and crying? That's real good.
I haven't.
His suit is hanging in a fridge, which is a strange place to keep it. You want to keep it fresh, I guess. We get some more pointless like fast forward 2000s editing as he gets up, and then we fast forward him walking to the fridge. It's like whatever.
Yeah. But once he gets dressed, our boy Mr. Johnson is like doing his very best Bond villain here. It's like, I brought you a suit to make you more comfortable. We need you to do a job for me. At this point, Mighty Joe takes the second decision that he does in the movie.
He's standing there with a broken nose and his arm in a sling, which is a funny joke. I like that.
Genuinely, I was halfway through writing the phrase excited to see Mighty Joe as a recurring guy. He is extremely big, and then he immediately gets shot in the head. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he tries to criticize his boss, and his boss's management style is, I'll kill you, which is...
It's a bad management style.
It is.
It just doesn't
It
get
depends
results.
on the personnel, I suppose.
True.
Like
High turnover rate.
Yeah.
He gives him he lets him boof the pill that kills you instantly.
Yeah. So rest in power, Mighty Joe, a man not named in anything but the credits. And I do think it is conceptually much funnier that we name all big guys after a guy who is A, not particularly memorably big, and B, is killed in his second scene. I think follows a kind of criterion of incomprehensibility that I like quite a lot.
I'm willing to believe
named in the
it.
credits and in our hearts. At least this one's named after a movie we actually saw on the podcast.
The real test case is when the next big guy shows up. Do we remember that we're calling him Mighty Joe's, or do we think of something else? Like
I might call him a Mighty Joe.
That'll be how we know.
But so the job is Frank is a transporter. He's going to have to transport something.
You have to transport some shit for me, man.
Frank, by the way, does not blink when Mighty Joe gets iced. He's just
He's like, damn, that's crazy.
And his only condition is that he wants to use his own car. But because Johnson is a Bond villain, he's anticipated that condition, and he does the Q scene.
He does, yeah.
Here's all your cool shit. He literally uses the phrase, "We took the liberty of," fucking installing whatever in your car, which is a direct, like, cue.
That's
lift.
cue, yeah.
Yeah, it's just Luc Besson trying to do Bond shit.
He also keeps touching him in a way.
He's running his hands all over his head and everything. Yeah.
There's a bit where he gets like a high score combo for like head touches.
It's
at one
so
point.
fucking funny. He gets so like over chummy.
Yeah, he's landing combos and head touching. Again, I think it's meant to suggest that this man is gay. I think we're meant to learn that this man is gay from this. But it's just the first movie again, right? Because you have to transport this woman. She's here too. We're going to put this explosive bracelet on you. Yeah. And you've seen yourself how it works.
75 feet from the car, you blow up.
And you know what? Great. Because Luc Besson has listened through time to our criticisms from Transporter 2, where we were like, brother is not even transporting anything. He's not anywhere near a car. This is, if he gets too far away from a car, he explodes.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. He's lone druid tethered to his fucking car.
Important to do screenwriting constraints.
Also, we don't yet know officially that the lady Valentina, that she is the package. They actually do load a big package into the boot of his car, and then they just say, she's going to come with you.
It's like, okay,
but
man.
obviously, because we've seen 2 of these movies before, we're like, oh yeah, she's a package, great, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
So you got a GPS in the car, off you go.
We'll be on the phone. Here is a phone that only dials my number. If you have any problems, we'll kill you. Which is, you know.
He goes, I don't know if I want to have her in there. And he goes, all right, I'll kill her then. And just like points his gun. It's like this very bizarre management style on this guy.
Yeah. He just loves killing.
He just loves killing.
He just likes that gun. He just bought that gun. He wants to use the gun.
Pointing his gun.
So they get driving around the same roads in the south of France that they used to film the whole first movie as well.
Don't worry about it.
She won't tell him what it's about.
Yeah, she's like conveniently mute. A device that they managed in the first movie by just having her really enjoy wearing duct tape over her mouth. In this case, it's more like she's just like, I don't want to speak. Right?
Yeah,
she's taking a vow of silence like Andrei Rublev.
Meanwhile, Tarone finds that his gay lover Frank is missing when he misses their date. And he's like, oh, damn, somebody drove a car through the wall of Frank's house. That's nuts. Frank normally likes cars, but presumably not when they're delivered like this.
I enjoy car, especially when it's served at the proper temperature.
I love car. But the car is towed away to the police place where they can investigate it. Yeah. But as it's being towed away, some more goons shoot the cop who's driving the truck, and then they steal the GPS from out of the car.
I have a thought about these goons as well, which is that we used to cast guys based entirely off of like face card, right? And one of these goons could have had a rich career in film noir because he looks like the French Lee Van Cleef. They don't use him for anything else in the movie. This is his only scene, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, that guy looks incredibly terrifying.
Yeah, these guys are stunt guys. They're just
he does.
They've got
really
that
does.
look about them. They're stuntmen.
Such a
because they're all like incredibly fit.
But so they steal the GPS, and then we get a scene of Tarcone going, "Oh shit, the GPS has been stolen." Which,
I found his name. You're talking about Farid El Awadi. Brother, you look amazing.
Yeah, look amazing. Get cast and stuff, please. So Frank is trying to like break down walls with Valentina. Doesn't even know her name yet, and she finally starts talking in the most
"We have big plan, you know."
kind of way. She speaks broken English.
There's a bit later on where he goes like he's on the phone to Tarko and he's like, she's Russian, I think. And like that's the accent that a lot of people in this movie are going for, is Russian, I think.
Yeah, it's Russian, I guess.
Yeah, second movie
how does a
in a
Ukrainian
row.
sound? Like Russian, kind of, you know? It's like I don't think they'd like that, brother.
Is that this actress is Russian herself as well.
Is she?
Indeed, she is.
But yeah, so she hits him with a like, "What matters my name?" when he asks what her name is. Also, Statham here looking old, and this is an interesting thing that I want to digress about because I I saw when I was logging into Amazon Prime to watch this, a new Jason Statham movie out.
I also saw that one. Yeah.
Jason Statham looks older in this than he does now. There's some, I mean, you know, I don't want to speculate about why that must be, but I think that also encourages kind of some of the same fondness that I get for old Roger Moore, because he looks kind of a little bit older, a little bit weathered, and mostly just baffled by this whole experience, you know? And I've always thought that Jason Statham is like an underrated actor.
You think he's on the estrogen? Is his skin looking good?
I think, I don't know, but like in this movie, he's looking decidedly middle-aged and is just kind of baffled by
He's got on the opposite of hair plugs to keep him bald.
Yeah.
So
laser on his top of his head.
Destination is Budapest. Jason Statham says, "What's in Budapest?" And my notes say a lot of cheap and very well-equipped film studios.
Interesting.
Yep, that's why we filmed Django out there.
In Ukraine, the EcoCorp guys and the ADR guys who are voicing them in a different room at a latency of about half a second are meeting with the like Ukrainian minister who's being blackmailed, and they're like, right, so you just sign the deal, we will dump like 8 ships worth of toxic waste a year directly into Odessa. He's like, well, but I don't want to.
He's like, that sounds bad. Like, as the environmental minister, that seems like it would be bad for me to do that.
Yeah. And so he gets the Ukrainian, I guess, like secret service or whatever to look into this, right?
Yeah.
And those are the guys who stole the GPS. They're the minister's boys.
Yeah,
okay.
cool.
And Tarcone's on their trail, and they're on Frank's
They're the good
trail.
guys. So, and the first thing they did was kill a cop. So, hell yeah, that's interesting. Strange categorization.
Weird tone thing. They just forget what to think about those guys. Frank tries to break down Valentina's kind of like walls by talking about food, because they're going to enter Germany.
This scene.
I
like
kind
this
of
scene.
do too.
Yeah.
They're about to enter Germany, and he's like, well, there's going to be like beer and sausage and stuff, and she's like, I don't like sausage. So he asks what she does like, and she has an interest in food, which is funny because it looks like she's never eaten any in her life. And they go through this like
dream meal.
Yeah,
it's quite nice. Frank suggests some wine, and he pronounces it tokaj. It is pronounced Tokai, you fucking plebe.
Bit of
They're gonna kick you out of Hungary for this, dude. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
But so they drive into Germany, and Frank's like, well, I gotta get this fucking tracker off the car so we don't explode.
Yes, absolutely.
Luckily, I know one German man.
Yeah.
Otto.
And he's on the way.
Mechanic Q.
Yeah.
So they go to visit Mechanic Q, but in so doing, they go off course, which sets off a big like 2000s like Frank Transporter is off course pop up on the computers where Johnson is running his blackmail thing from. So he sends some goons after them. They go and see Otto. Otto is like, damn, it's crazy that happened.
He also says, oh, this bracelet, this bomb bracelet you've got on, it's this new like Pentagon weaponry system based on the theory of magnetic attraction.
Love that.
And I'm like, that's a weird way to say it's magnetic.
Based on the theory of magnetism. Have you heard of this?
From Otto, we get this.
You wouldn't believe what you can discover when you let your fingers do the walking through the internet.
And that's screenwriting.
That's right, baby.
It is. It says, would you like to see the invasion plans for Iran? This is a 2008 movie. And I say, they're on the War Thunder forums, man. You can just go on there.
You're on a signal chat, brother. It's all good.
Yeah. So Otto finds the
actually,
actual...
they've just been texted to the editor of The Atlantic, I don't need an internet connection.
He's like, wow, that's
weirdly
crazy.
posted as a sticker on WhatsApp. So Otto finds the thing, but he's not able to disconnect it.
Some goons roll up, and my question is, if the goons are able to get here this fast and without any problems, why don't you just get one of them to do this job?
That's a great question.
This question's never answered. Why did he hire Frank Transporter to do this against his will when it seems like he has an army of goons with cars?
Because Frank has to have another fight scene now.
Yes.
For the plot.
Yeah. Also, it's the EU. You can just drive across the border. Like, what are you doing? Why are you even transporting her anywhere?
Why did you need this guy?
Why does she need to go anywhere?
Let's not worry about that.
Whatever.
What is happening? Why is any of this going on?
My
there's some
favorite of
goons.
the goons.
Yeah.
My favorite of the goons is because there's like one goon who doesn't have a name who gets to like menace Frank, and then there's also his buddy, Mr. Parkour Man.
Hell
I
yeah.
love Mr. Parkour Man so much because his opening gambit, the first thing anyone does is to kind of do a little flip in Frank's direction and then get kicked in the face so hard he fucking dies. Like it's a perfect dramatic
It's
arc
really
for
funny.
a character.
It's really
Go,
funny.
pal.
Wow, ka-cha! It's great.
I love that
And then,
shit.
of course, yeah, they all fight him. At this point, I write down sick. I love martial arts.
I like it too when I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so good, wouldn't it?
One of the guys is the guy who perfectly cuts Frank's shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the Transporter is a rare kind of action movie in that it very explicitly foregrounds the male body as like an erotic sort of locus, right?
Yeah, I suppose that is
particularly
nice.
the male chest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Valentina is watching Jason Statham beat dudes up shirtless, and she's loving
She's
it.
getting
which-
horny in that, yeah.
We know that this is an
Yeah.
eroticized thing because we see 8 or 9 shots of her biting her lip. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Women love it when you do violence. We love that actually. It's not at all scary.
Yeah, he fights some guys. He drops a car lift on top of some guys. He's still doing the Frank Transporter thing of not killing anyone, like explicitly.
Do
which
they
I-
live? Do those guys survive?
I
I don't think so. I feel like a car getting dropped on you is heavy.
I feel like that's a double murder, which not only is quite violent.
I think he killed those 2 guys at the end, yeah. Which,
I think he did, but also now Otto has 2 corpses in his garage, which is just rude.
yeah, and
That's
he says to
true.
Otto, hey, best of luck. And it's like,
Well, yeah, like it's rude if I like vape in your front room without asking. It's even ruder if I kill 2 men
Yeah.
and leave you to clean it up. Like
So he does then have to fight a Mighty Joe. Conveniently not Mighty Joe.
a second
yeah,
Mighty
after,
Joe has
after
struck
they
the
shot Mighty
film.
Joe, Johnson was just like, get me one with a brain. And this guy rolls up and Jason's like, are you the one with the brain? And he's like, no, I'm big. I'm literally just huge.
Mhm, that's my thing.
Mightier Joe.
I am even mightier Joe.
Yes. They have a fight in the barrel room of Otto's garage.
Of course.
Yes.
Which not only are you killing 2 guys, but you're also fucking up his
My
barrels.
barrels.
Yeah.
They're not red barrels, at least.
Yeah.
Blue barrels. Blue
That's a
He
barrels.
ends
different
up,
room,
he
it's
ends
a
up
different room.
the way he kills this guy or like takes him out or whatever is he suplexes him through into the like pit that you use to like go under cars to work on them,
Mm-hmm.
and then he throws a single rose, which also
Yeah,
just
he
had,
just, like, fucking-
a single garage rose into the hole, and I'm like, this is a cartoon. This is
Yeah, he,
good. I
like,
like this a lot.
Garage
Like,
Rose sounds like the name that you'd give to like the guy in the garage who bottoms.
it's the name I would give to my beautiful butch mechanic girlfriend.
Yeah.
Now taking applications.
I am writing Garage Rose down as a name.
Garage
for
Rose.
potential
Yeah.
D&D campaign.
No, that is pretty good. Wait, that's just one of the characters from Lovely Lady RPG as well.
Yes, it is, isn't it? He just fucking beats down this guy, and you are like, Jason Statham, you're so small, you're so tiny, Jason Statham. I love you.
He's a short man.
When he throws the rose, it's fantastic. It's
The
cinema.
scene goes nowhere too
Cinema,
because Otto finds the transmitter and can't remove it, and he's like, "Oh, great, this was fun."
Yeah, no, there's no point for the scene. They just have a fight. But
Yeah.
Natalia does get extremely horny about it. So
Yeah.
bad news. He's gay and ace and trans. So
In fact, Otto even says like women, and Frank's like, "This is why I prefer to deal with cars," and it's like, yeah, he fucks cars. That's his thing.
he fucks cars.
Fucks
Yeah.
the car. Yeah,
He's car
fucking
sexual. He's
the car.
autosexual.
Mhm. So they leave, of
It's a
course.
huge tail on the vine.
It's fine.
Yeah, they leave having achieved nothing at all.
Yes. Yeah.
Just all right.
But they
cool.
get to Budapest, which is a great place to film because it's very cheap.
Mhm.
And Johnson calls him on a payphone.
Yes.
Yes.
And Johnson finally, the plot catches up to him, right? Because he's like, wait a second, I didn't need you for any of this.
Yeah, he goes, why
Like,
the fuck did I hire you?
Why
I
did
just
I
need
do
a
any of
guy.
this?
I just need a guy. And then he hits us with,
In the words of the great American Donald Trump,
which, the Trump scare. Right?
Trump scare.
Yeah, we
It's
get
such a
Trump scare again.
The 2000s are such a fucking minefield for Trump.
Yeah.
In the
He says,
words
"You're
of the
fired."
great American Donald Trump, you're fired. Now, I went into the
I want a
archives
Trump
because I
scare
will
drop
say,
so bad.
conservatively, 60 to 70% of my bookmarked videos on Twitter are Donald Trump saying things, and so now I can just do
reasonable.
things. I can hit you with a.
In the words of the great American Donald Trump,
Nice trucks. You think I could hop into one of them and drive it away? I'd love to just drive the hell out of here. Just get the hell out of this. I had such a good life. My life was great.
I
God,
have
he's so funny.
conservatively 1 million of these to deploy throughout the rest of the episode. But
funny.
the upshot of the Trump scare is you're gonna fucking die. Like I've got one of my goons to like press triangle next to the car and drive it away with Valentina in it.
Yeah. So Jason Statham, Frank Transporter, Mr. Take Care of Your Car, got out of his car to answer a payphone and left the keys in the ignition?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
He wouldn't do this.
This man knows where his keys are at all times.
Yeah. He's not Mr. Alexander, is he? He fucking knows.
They're attached to his belt on a little elastic thingy. Like,
He knows. And the other thing is what you're doing there is indirectly suicide bombing a Budapest
Yeah, because you
market.
drive that away, your Frank Transporter explodes.
Yeah,
And
it does do that.
It doesn't
He
make it
explodes
clear.
so much as
Yeah,
well.
right. It
Like,
doesn't make it clear until the last second, but the explosion that happens is fucking colossal when that bracelet does
what are they
eventually go
making
off.
those bracelets
Like,
out of?
it's the theory of magnetic attraction.
I thought it would just like blow his fucking hand off or something. Anyway, regardless.
So luckily there is a BMX bicycle
Naturally.
next to the thing
Yes.
that Frank can press triangle next to,
Yeah.
and we get a chase scene. First running and then biking through this market to I Wanna Be Your Dog, an expensive song
Right?
to get. And you
Yeah.
you spend your budget on this. This is, I will say
Just getting
charitably,
a clean
this
drop of you saying that?
this is some crank. Okay. Listen, sometimes I make financial decisions such as buying camera gear that I may not necessarily use as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, we're all guilty of that.
In that respect, maybe Olivier Megaton and I have something in common. But
Oh no, I wanted a clean drop of you saying I want to be your dog.
That's what I was reacting to as well.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, you can get a clean drop from that from me later. So I will charitably say this is some crank shit.
It is, yes.
This is evocative of the cinematic opus Crank and also Crank 2.
Right, the movie Crank, not
Yeah.
Crank shit as in like
God,
Helen
I
Joyce.
watched Crank recently. What a movie.
Crank 1 bangs. Crank 2 awful.
Oh, okay, I'm really glad to hear that because I have not
We'll get to it
got
on the
any
podcast,
interest
no
in watching
doubt.
Crank 2.
Crank 2 not unracist.
Well, neither is Crank 1, but Crank 1 Crank 1 pretty fucking bad.
Fuck. So, but no,
Jesus.
this is a conceit.
Yeah.
That is at home in one of the Crank movies, where he has to like race to catch up to the thing.
Yeah.
And he
Also,
ends up doing
in one
it.
of the wide shots of this bike chase, very briefly, Frank has hair.
cycling through like a shower of Rogaine. But he also cycles through a plate glass door at one point, which
Pretty sure you can't do it.
What are you
Wouldn't it be
doing,
funnier
man?
if you just gone hunk?
you're so lucky that because he's in like an office corridor that he's ridden into. You're so lucky that's glass, because if that's a regular door, you've got to literally backpedal to open it.
Like the fucking cat hitting that door in that one, but it's just Frank transports like oh shit.
People in the office like, is that Frank Transport?
Frank transport. Buddy, back up. It's
I've
okay.
never
It's
seen him
all
on a
good.
bike. It looks weird.
But so he catches up with the thing. Valentina's trying to fight the new guy, the goon. And Frank perfectly like stunt carjacks back his own car.
Yeah. And then he says, "You're fired," and I'm like, you didn't have a better line than that?
Yeah, you just heard
No,
that
I
just
mean-
now. Like,
Yeah, you can't just steal the boss's line. Like,
No, the goon sort of like is sitting in the thing as Frank sort of swivels in to kick him in the face, and
In the words of the great American Donald Trump,
Now I'm going to die.
Oh, you gotta save that one. You gotta save that one for the big day.
Keep a hold.
Inshallah.
Oh, I am, believe me.
Yeah.
But so the guy gets kicked out of the car and killed. At this point,
Frank calls Tarone and says,
why is my man in the movie? Real question about Tarone, just there.
the movie Transporter 3 is happening. I'm with this Russian girl, whatever. Then Frank calls Johnson, and Johnson's like, yeah, forgive and forget. Take everyone to
kiss and
Bucharest.
make up.
Yeah.
Which gay, homosexual, gay.
Drive
This
to
is a gay guy.
Bucharest because it's got some great cheap filming locations.
Mhm.
Valentina says Romanian wine isn't so good, which I'm like, maybe it wasn't in 2008. Actually, a lot of it's pretty good now.
Wouldn't know.
And then Valentina insists she's not Russian, she's Ukrainian. It's different.
She says Russians and Ukrainians are different here in like the heart and here in the mind. And this is, yeah, sure, why not? Again, funny that this actress is Russian.
Yeah.
But it takes the opposite view on Ukrainian nationhood to Ocean's 8. So
Yeah, true.
weird that those are the two ends of the spectrum, but I'll take it.
And Frank's like, you're really dark, you're really depressing, you're really negative. And she's like, fine, in that case, I'm going to get fucking blasted right now.
So what if I did drugs right now? And it's like, okay, fine, yeah. Like,
She does some leftover MDMA that she has in her wallet next to the credit card knife because she got kidnapped from Ibiza, as we will later find out. And so when they stop at a petrol station to refuel the car, she goes in, she spends some money, and she gets some vodka. She is activated like club kid mode, but it's also kind of woman doing like sexy baby thing. It's gross.
this whole scene is there's no purpose for any of this either.
There's a really weird bit where she just she's gonna go to the bathroom, but it's out of reach of the bracelet, so she just pisses in the aisle. And that's done in a cut that suggests that there was a much longer piss cut.
Yes, it does.
Release the piss cut, but
don't release the piss cut.
This movie is
People
strange. Like, remember the first movie? There's a lot of women pissing in that too. There was like, I'm gonna piss in the boot, or unless you put me on a leash and let me piss. And I'm like,
Luc Besson having a piss kink is maybe one of the less evil things about him, strangely.
Yeah, it's fine. You can have a piss kink. I know at least one listener does.
But like, it's like
You're
in
allowed
this case,
to. Just don't put it in the
relatively
movie.
speaking, it's more of the one of the more moral qualities that Luc Besson has is the piss kink.
There are definitely worse things that he could or allegedly might be into.
The whole way through this scene, like, Valentina is child-brained. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, she doesn't speak English, sure. But that's not why you would act like this or talk like this.
It's significantly worse than the first movie in that respect,
Much
which also leaned heavily on like, we're going to infantilize this woman.
Yeah.
But like this one, because it seems so much more like voluntary, it's like her own kind of immaturity. It's gross.
Infantilized women pissing. I'm just like, what? Why is this?
I'm just watching the piss scene right now, by the way. This is.
You see what I mean? Though it feels like it's been cut.
It really does feel like it's been.
Because there's only one shot where it's like kind of implied that she's gonna piss on the floor, and then we just kind of move on from that very, very quickly. I'm like,
Olivier Megaton slapping Luc Besson's hand away from the editing suite.
Either that or the ratings board came back and like, you can't show that.
You need to cut
it
the like.
Feels like it's been cut down a lot.
The totally superfluous 5-minute long piss scene. I think you need to nip that down a little bit. So instead, a goon car rolls up.
They cut it down because she just pulls out a huge cock.
Yeah.
Pisses with that.
But so the goons show up. The Ukrainian goons. The Ukrainian Secret
Black
Service
Mercedes guys, yeah.
Yeah. And we get a car chase because she has to get back in the car. She's drunk and she's high. And the car chase has a lot of fast motion. So she is not the only one who feels sick here.
Yes.
And this they do, this is another great kind of limited budget thing. They drive past the same car like a couple of times because they don't have that many spare cars.
Yeah, that guy did a loop and came back to take another loop. He diamonds off forevers between two trucks.
He does. He gets a spinning silver 007 moment. we get a kind of an off-road thing, which it's really unfortunate because Frank Transporter is driving an Audi, which is fine, but the Mercedes is a significantly sexier looking car, and it's getting the villain car edits, and it's like, but it's so much.
They look fucking identical. I will say about these two cars, like they're basically the same car, but just like a kind of a black sedan.
Mercedes has like, it's more toned. Like the Mercedes has been doing low weights at high reps and just looks real good.
Yeah.
The Mercedes looks like I do in this sweater. It's just like...
Look, these cars have fucking quadruple T brain rot or something, because I'm looking at them both next to each other and there's no fucking difference at all between these two cars.
Boxier. The Audi's like kind of bricked, whereas
if I say that I am sexy because I look like this Mercedes, is that Otto kind of feeling?
I could see that Mercedes comparison, actually. It's like, I buy that. I don't know what the fuck kind of car I would be.
Well, listen to the episode on Cars 2 where we said at the start what kind of car we would be.
Yeah. You have a car Sona? What's your car
Sona?
Now, so
I think mine was a tractor. Tractors are
Frank
animals.
outdrives them.
He does, yeah.
The Mercedes falls over a cliff into the quarry full of old landmines.
Yeah.
Which is the only explanation for it exploding like that. But to be fair, Ukraine might have that. For all I know, like you go to some random town in Ukraine, it's like, the Soviet Union decided all of the landmines were going to get dumped into this quarry, and we just weren't going to worry about it. And they drove into that.
God, it is the same car every time they go past.
Thankfully, at this point, Valentina decides not to be high or drunk anymore. Which is a thing you can do with willpower.
You can stop if
and Wim Hof breathing.
If the situation gets too real, you can stop.
Yeah.
The adrenaline just burns that shit right.
Normal.
You know how sometimes people are worried, like if you get high, you're like, I'm going to be high for like 14.2 million years. No, just stop that. Just stop it.
Just stop.
Just what are you doing? Are you stupid? Just stop.
Yeah, literally just
right
stop.
Now.
It's
if
so
you're high
easy.
listening to this right now, stop. You are sober now. You are good to drive.
Well done.
If you're high listening to this right now, nobody can tell because you aren't high anymore. You're now normal.
Just sucks the CBD right out. You're like CBD, THC, whatever. So they park in this. They park in a fucking field.
Nice cheap field.
Valentina is like, I would like to have the sex one more time before I die. This is basically just the actual
insane.
line.
Yeah, the actual line is, I want to feel sex one more time before I die.
Yes, yeah.
Am I not sexy? And Jason Statham's like, I don't want to have sex with you right now.
I have the line, we get this beautiful little exchange, which I do not believe. I think this is Hays Code shit.
It is.
You know?
You're the gay.
Nope, I am not the gay.
Yes, he is.
He is the gay.
He is gay.
Though.
He's fucking gay.
But she's trying to come on to him.
He's trans. He's ace.
Yeah,
He
I do
just
like
wants to drive
this
his
thing
car.
in the Transporter series that Frank resists beautiful women because he says to her, like, did it ever occur to you that I might just not be in the mood?
Consent.
Yeah.
It's
Consent
good.
is king.
It's
Like-
nice. It's nice.
I mean, this would be good, but for the rest of the scene.
Yeah, he decides to open the package and finds that it's full of phone books. And it's like, oh, you're the package. And it's like, congratulations, Frank. We'll figure this out like in scene 2. But okay, this is the second time this has happened to you. You'd think you'd spot it by now. He just sees beautiful women and automatically assumes that they're the package now.
Just crisp and potato snacks it, pal. Just fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
Just
use that brain.
She's still being kind
Crispin
of like
potatoes, man.
weird, sexy baby, steals the car keys and is like, I won't give them back unless you take all your clothes off.
She makes it. She said, I want you to do a striptease for me.
This is not good, of course.
totally superfluous.
Yeah. It's also as a fantasy of non-consent as well is troubling.
So he takes his like shirt off and he looks very sexy and he's like, do you know, they flirt a bit. He's like, do you know what I'm going to make you do to me for doing this? And she's like, are you going to spank me? You're going to tie me up? And he's like, yeah, for starters, yeah.
Which he doesn't do any of, by the way.
He's not going to know. He's not interested.
I like that he still just wants the keys. And this is a well played scene from Jason Statham because you can tell that he's like kind of getting slightly more into this. But he grabs her, she demands a kiss. He does kiss her, and then he's still just trying to take the keys back.
She's like, do you ever kiss like you mean it? And I'm like, he is trying to imagine you as a French police inspector.
He's like,
now.
just stop talking. I need to get in my mind palace.
Do you speak French?
Yeah,
the
thing is, right, they do eventually have sex, which sucks, but it's not as bad as it could be, because while it does suggest that he's not gay, you can be gay and also do T for T stuff regardless of gender. I kind of believe that.
I believe that ish, yeah.
The T for T kind of default bisexuality is real.
I'm going to check Twitter's discourse before I have an
I'm
opinion
never
on
going
that.
to check Twitter's discourse. I'm going to
discourse.
get 5 or 6 more boyfriends and keep calling myself a lesbian.
They're all Nazis now. The discourse doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, good point.
You post and you just get like honest to God Nazis in your replies now. It's like, okay, I can't really have a discussion about like trans people anymore.
Yeah.
No. Also, this is one of the only shots of the movie where we see that she has a big tattoo on the back of her neck, which is the character of peace in Chinese, also means cheap in Japanese, which makes it kind of a nasty joke. So this is where
they have sex.
They have sex. Afterwards, she tells him the story of her getting taken, like in the movie Taken.
Sorry, just first of all, you're telling me that Frank Transporter,
Francis Transporter
the Third, Jr., the man who loves that car,
yes,
who says you take care of the car and the car takes care of you, you respect the car. You're telling me this guy had sex with fluids in the back of his car?
That's crazy.
I do not believe you.
That's crazy.
I don't believe that the character... I don't even believe he'd have sex on the bonnet because he wouldn't want her ass prints getting on it. In a field, okay, fine. I buy that he's relaxing, that he's relenting, that he's breaking his rules. Okay, character development, fine. But I do not believe for 1 second that this man had sex in the back of his car. No way.
Well, if you remember the first movie where he opens as the car autist and he's like, no, one of you is like weighing the shocks down too much.
One of you is too heavy. Kill yourself now.
Yeah.
You know?
To be like, he's thinking about the precise weight of the like fluids and stuff on the seats, you know?
You tell me this guy raw dogged a Ukrainian woman in the back seat of his car. No, I don't believe you.
It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree.
They do have nice chemistry though, which I quite like.
I really don't think
Jason
so.
Statham, again, just a good actor.
I think it's all Statham.
It is
he
all
says
Statham.
that, like, she says, "Oh, I feel safe with you," and he smiles in a really nice way. It's like, oh, okay, he's actually really good. I like him.
But so she tells the story of like, I was in Ibiza. I got taken from the movie Taken, and then they put me in the car with the lesser transporter,
Kit Harington,
who transported me pretty good, but not as good as you, because transportation is also sex. And then he got killed. They drive to. And
the reason for all this is, by the way, is that she's the minister's daughter. If you hadn't already, Crispin Potato.
To be very.
They're blackmailing. Quite why she has to be driven around Europe by a series of bald men, I'm not sure, but whatever.
Yeah, it's apparently a key part of it, I guess.
Yeah, if I was going to kidnap someone, I'd just keep them in one place.
Damn, that's crazy. Anyway, so they changed the destination again to Ukraine, right?
Yeah,
because the minister's going to go to Odessa and sign the thing, maybe because of the blackmail.
Yeah.
So they drive there, and Tarone is, because he's been on the phone with Frank, he goes to see the minister and is like, hey, your daughter's been taken from the movie Taken.
Yeah.
This random French cop, I'm here to help.
Bonjour, monsieur. Your daughter has been taken.
They get a bunch of Ukrainian cops to help him with the big kind of post-Soviet hats.
Impressively large hats. Yeah, pretty good.
At one point, Tarone calls Frank and then asks, and it kind of detects his attachment to Valentina. And I read this as Tarone being slightly jealous. He's like, I thought you didn't get attached. What? I thought a man like you getting attached? What do you mean? It's like, you never let me sleep in your bed. You never fucked me in the car.
They only made love on the fishing boat, I'm pretty certain.
Frank put down plastic sheets on the sofa before they fucked, and now it's like, what do you mean you fucked her in the car? You never fucked me in the car. Wouldn't even let me give you roadhead standing still.
That's crazy.
Tarone really suffering from like first wife syndrome, you know.
I think Otto is really top, but I don't know why that is. I can't really justify that.
I could buy that. I think, yeah, because Frank Transporter would then be kind of like service top for Valentina, and just kind of like,
he hasn't had GRS yet either, so like he'd be using a strap-on regardless. Which, like, you know, some people like, some people do.
Yeah, sure.
You think some people enjoy strap-on to me and November Kelly? Damn, that's crazy.
Have you heard of this, by the way?
Unbelievable. Breaking news. Huge if true.
I haven't heard of this. This is a novelty.
I meant some people enjoy with the strap-on on them.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Topping.
I get you.
You can top with your dick and a strap-on.
That's crazy.
If you get the angles right.
That's crazy.
So So they drive to Odessa. So they drive to Odessa.
That's good
so
shit.
they drive to Odessa.
What do I?
Yeah, they do. Sorry.
Yeah. How much topping do I do in Odessa? Is it like much?
And Valentina's like, damn, Odessa's like it's cool being back in my homeland of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Feel very patriotic about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Ukraine finessed this. Like, if they did, like, there's some kind of Ukrainian film fund or whatever that's like you got to put some like pro-Ukraine themes in the thing. But like, it's
So
cool,
maybe
it's fine.
Luc Besson, in addition to his other views, has some views about Ukraine that are positive.
Maybe he's like a NAFO guy. I don't know. But so they drove to the pickup, which is on this bridge, and he's like, right, I'm going to drop off Valentina. And then, but she knows, of course, they both know that he is going to get killed immediately after he hands her over. But he hands her over in the first place, and his reassurance to her is like, trust me, do I look like a man who drove halfway across Europe to die on a bridge? Which, why is the bridge the objection there? I don't
want to die at all.
And then we get
Weird
the
line.
funniest shot of the movie,
What would
which
a
is...
man who had done that look like?
Have you seen the movie The Night Porter?
I love dying on a bridge.
So, you really should. We'll do it. But so
I'm sure we will.
The other problem with casting a model, we identified this with George Lazenby way back in the day, is her direction here is right. You're going to go and be like thrown back into the hands of your kidnappers. Walk across this bridge. She walks across the bridge like a model. It's too much. Too much serve.
I'm literally watching it right now. She's swaying way too much.
It's great. It's fucking great.
It's so funny.
So I would also do this if I was being delivered into the hands of my kidnappers. I would want to look as cunty as possible out
same,
of defiance.
yeah.
So I kind of buy it for that reason.
My guys. But yeah, no, sure.
Yeah.
Catwalk walking across the bridge. Really good.
Yeah.
It's
At this
really-
point,
in
Johnson's
heels.
like, knowing that Frank Transporter has like a massive bomb attached to him is like, shoot him.
Yeah, shoot him.
It's the easiest way I can think of to kill this guy who I've previously tried to kill
You
using
don't
the
have
bomb.
like a remote detonation? thing?
No, just shoot him.
Okay.
And this is where we get, for my money, the funniest line of the movie, which is,
His beloved car will be his grave.
That's really good. Yeah, I wrote that down verbatim. Stupid movie.
You've
beloved car
got
will be
10
his
goons.
grave.
They're surrounding this guy in a car. Your objective is to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Make him get out of the car first. Be like, okay, we're going to pay you, Frank. Please turn off the ignition.
No, it won't be
and
his
stand
grave.
outside of the car, because otherwise he's going to do the thing which he does in the movies. As soon as you open fire, he just drives off the bridge. I'm like, have you never killed someone before? Is this your first day? What the fuck is wrong with
They
you?
have no idea what they're doing.
Why is he here?
What's this guy why is he part of the plan? Why do you need a transporter?
I don't know, but his beloved car is going to be his grave. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
fine.
the key
Put her in a fucking
takeaway
locker
here.
for like
Commander's intent. This guy's beloved car becomes his grave, and I leave it to you to implement how that happens.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Make sure his car's his grave though, and then he drives off the bridge. Yeah. Oh.
He drives off the
Drives
thing.
off
They
the bridge.
shoot down at him, but of course it doesn't matter because he's under so much water.
Yeah.
And then he steals a bit from.
This
James
is fucking
Bond?
stupid, but it's great. But it is stupid.
Because he still can't leave it. He still can't leave the car.
Yeah.
He'll explode.
And it's
But
so he needs to
he
float
gets a
the
sack.
car up. Yeah, he's got it's the fucking package they loaded
Sack
in at
full
the
of
start.
phone books.
The
Yeah.
sack full of phone books. He breathes in the air from his car tires. You know, he like breathes it in because the car is sort of an extension of himself, and then he
Yeah, and then
fills
he's
up.
like, these phone books will help me.
He fills up the fucking like
I'll call someone.
plastic thing that they were wrapped in with the fucking air from the tires, which refloats the car.
I don't
This-
think you can.
This
Do that.
drove my girlfriend insane, by the way.
What are you moving the fucking air to somewhere else in the car, and you think that's gonna
Yeah.
change the fucking buoyancy?
The concept physically of the air in the tires being
Being
enough
enough?
to lift the car was drove my girlfriend to a fit of madness
Yeah.
watching this. Like,
What are you replacing the air in the tires with? Water? You understand, but that's
Yeah.
heavy. That is not gonna. Yeah,
You've just moved the
you've
air
just
and
moved
decompressed
the air
it.
around, but it is sick.
yeah, while they're waiting for this to happen, Johnson is like, all right, well, I assume this guy's beloved car has become his grave.
It's probably his grave down there. So first, let's get on out of here.
Yeah. So now we got to get out of here because like the cops are going to be coming. So they go to a train station. and he sends one of his guys to be like, go and buy tickets for all of us.
Yeah.
And this guy, not wanting to get Mighty Joe, goes and buys the tickets.
Smart.
They get on the train and immediately hijack the train.
It's like, why did you buy the fucking tickets, brother? This
Again,
Johnson
I'm asking
guy.
myself, Mr. Johnson, is this your first day?
It might be. This is his first time doing this. Like,
There's not like ticket gates. It's just a normal platform. You just walk up to the train. You just-
Honestly, like I could do a better job of this, and I've never been convicted of terrorism.
his beloved car will be. You just get on the fucking train. But the guy tries to ask him this, and he like pulls the gun on him. So he's like, "Oh, I'll go buy the tickets. Fine, man, fine."
Yeah.
Terrible
he
management.
asks him, yeah.
Can I claim this back from you later?
This
is Europe. Like, these train tickets are really cheap though because we're in Europe. It's not like Britain where it's like, I need a small mortgage to buy this train.
So Tarone and the Ukrainian cops arrive to rescue Frank, only to see that he is currently being comedy towed out of the with the Audi, towed out of the reservoir. So Tarone goes to him and he says,
In the words of the great American Donald Trump,
How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on? Why do you put the pants on? I'll explain it to you someday. How do you do it? How do you get up? How do you do it? How can you want to do with what you do? They're after you. These horrible human beings are after you all the time.
I got a million of these.
What the fuck is he talking about? Is he doing gang stalks? Is he a targeted individual? Oh, well, he is. He is a targeted individual.
Yeah, famously so.
And I wish him all luck. But like, he's... what the fuck is he talking about?
I don't know. This is the thing. This movie is so bad that I have to leaven it with Trump, right?
Yeah. God. So Frank manages to restart his car and also somehow by magic reinflate the tires.
Yeah,
fine.
Bullshit, your Audi still works. No, it doesn't.
He still can't leave the car more than 75 feet or he'll explode.
Oh my god. But so Tarone tells him about what the plot is, which is if these guys are left to their own devices, half of Ukraine's going to be polluted for 100 years. Can you imagine if half of Ukraine became polluted for 100 years? Crazy. Right, so Frank fires up the Audi, which still fucking works.
Yeah, whatever.
Meanwhile, on board the train, Johnson is talking to Valentina, and he actually gets to do some character, which is he's Mr. Globalization, right?
Yes.
He's like, I love economy, and economy is when you dump a bunch of like poisonous chemicals in a poorer country, which is kind of true.
Yeah, that is economy. Yeah.
It says there are no more countries, only economic realities. It's globalization, and I'm like, does Valentina stand for like national pride? Like, is this the ideological conflict that why is the ideological conflict of this movie globalization versus cars? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
How does Frank Transporter and Valentina represent the antipode to this worldview? Whatever.
So, I mean, I will also say part of his deal here is to go, I'm not crazy. I'm a business person. I was hired to do this, and this was the way I thought I could do it with the least amount of bloodshed. And I'm like, motherfucker, you shot Mighty Joe for asking a question.
Unarmed.
Yeah, it's like, you're lying. You are lying. You're lying to me right now.
You
poorly
domed off
managed.
Mighty Joe permanent style for
You are
no
very
reason.
lucky that this organization tolerates failure because you've done nothing but fail since day one. You're a disgrace to evil.
Yeah.
No idea what's going on. Like, you're like, oh, I need you, Frank Transporter. Wait, no, I don't need you. No, hang on, I need you again. Okay, now your beloved car is going to be your grave.
You kidnap a woman and then move her around for no reason. What are you doing?
Awful.
Why did he do this?
I will say that they don't even have, like, because the Frank and the Ukrainians drive to the train, and at least they have a decent number of silly little gay Ukrainian police cars. Right? But so Frank ramps his car onto the top of the train.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sick.
he CJs it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did this if they put the car up there for real or not. If they did, then they wasted it because there's only two very brief shots of the car on top of the thing. But
There's a gunfight because, like, legally you have to have one of those. Frank does kill
people. He takes their own guns. He comes in unarmed. They shoot at them, and then he does have to kill them back.
He doesn't kill anyone who's like uninvolved in the same way that he did that co-pilot. So
no, yes, that's true.
It's less murderous.
Yeah, this is provoked. He's also killed those two guys earlier on with the car lift.
Yeah, Valentina's running away in peril because she's a woman. Johnson is trying to chase her down. Frank tries to rescue them, but the end of his like car leash is too far away, so he has to get back up into the car, drive the car, and then as Johnson like separates the two parts of the train, he like decouples one of the trains. He like crashes the car through the back.
I'm sorry. What the fuck is Johnson expecting to happen? Like Frank has got right up to him, and his fucking like bracelet is going, "I'm going to explode," and he says, "Take one more step." Just take one more step, brother. What is your plan if he takes that next step, considering that the explosion that we see
die in an explosion,
colossal.
Johnson, not
what
good
are you doing?
It's an incredibly incompetent villain.
But so he crashes the Audi into the back of the train.
Yeah, it's semi-sick. It's stupid, but it's kind of cool, but it is stupid.
Presumably they have a fight scene. My notes here say can't see.
Yeah, he ends up tying Johnson to the steering wheel using the seatbelt, which sure, and putting the bracelet on Johnson. And I write down, his beloved car becomes his grave.
My beloved car will be your grave.
That's like Shakespeare.
Also, you're telling me that Frank Transporter blew up his own car? No, I don't think he did.
No, it's fine.
He wouldn't allow that to be scratched, never mind blown up.
Meanwhile, Valentina is watching all of this, like...
In the words of the great American Donald Trump.
I didn't want to hear that.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have
I'm gonna come.
Now...
Was that on random?
Do not.
I'm sorry?
Was that random or did you?
Well, no, I have.
How many of these
my Trump cornucopia. So I at the moment I only loaded 4, but I have another bunch. I have the how do you do it? How do you put your pants on? I have the I could get into one of these trucks and drive away. I have now I am going to die, and I have the but so I'm like this is like Shakespeare, right? Like his beloved car becomes his grave.
It's exactly like Shakespeare.
Sure. Yeah, it's just like Shakespeare.
Just like, I think this is a bit as in like Coriolanus,
It's just like because my beloved car becomes your grave. Yeah, I remember that was
Coriolanus's iconic car.
Yeah, I remember when Puck said your car will be your grave.
Anyway, so Jason Statham and Valentina kiss. The minister rips up the contract.
Wait, hold on. We didn't even kill the guy yet because he gets kicked off the back of the train.
Oh, yeah.
And then as the thing gets further away, so the car's fine. The beloved car doesn't become anyone's grave.
The beloved car is fine. True,
yeah, the guy just like blows up a strategic Ukrainian railway line like an FPV drone, and the car's fine. Then, of course, the minister tears up his contract, and Frank goes back to Tarone.
Yeah,
the EcoCorp guys don't go to jail.
No, that's fine.
The cargo ship gets seized by the authorities. Cool.
And we finally get maybe the most realistic part of Frank Transporter's journey, which is polyamory, because he's on his fishing date with his boyfriend, with his wife, really, Tarone, and Valentina is also present. This is fucked up. It should have been the girl from the Transporter 1.
Should have been Lai. She was nice.
Yeah, should have been Lai.
Where is she?
But she's also present, and she is suggesting, again, it's really funny that she's meant to be a foodie, like a restaurant up the coast that does lavender with fish and a rosé. Sounds fucking awful.
Cool.
And then we get the thing of the soundtrack stepping on the line, because the last line is Frank going, and for dessert, and then it cuts into a really heavy auto-tune set it on fire from the theme soundtrack thing. It's great. Perfect.
Yeah, strange line to end Frank Transporter's journey on.
Yeah, no, for real. This is the last time we will see Frank Transporter unless Luc Besson persuades Jason Statham to do another one.
I mean, I know that Jason Statham appears in the Fast and the Furious franchise, so when we eventually do that, I'm just going to headcanon that it's Frank Transporter.
No, I think I'm going
to. Every Jason Statham, and this is a precept for me going forward, every Jason Statham is Frank Transporter.
Yeah.
The Beekeeper, Frank Transporter.
Yeah, that's reasonable. But there is a fourth Transporter movie. It is Frank Transporter. They just recast him, but it's not Frank Transporter, it's not that guy.
No, it's not our Frank Transporter.
We'll see whether he's gay and trans or what he is when we get to that.
Yeah, this is the Transporter refueled with Ed Skrein.
That's a crazy name to have.
So we'll get some screen time in with the next one.
Rebel Moon.
In the meantime, though, we have a science-based system on this podcast.
We do. It's called the SCUM system. And it stands for SMARM, Cultural Insensitivity, Unprovoked Violence, and Misogyny. How smarmy is the Transporter 3?
It's a weird one because it's trying to be. It has some lines, but they're just not very good when he's like, you're fired and stuff. It's just a bit
it's not hugely smarmy based on my understanding of, I guess, the definition of that. They
don't give a Nobel Prize for attempted chemistry, so I don't think attempted SMARM can score that highly.
Nah,
I think it does. You've said the opposite on the podcast before. You've been
Have
like,
we? Well, in that case, I
murder,
reverse myself entirely.
Much like Frank Transporter.
Well, it's a science-based systems.
Yeah, it has to be consistent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
3?
I could even hear 4 for the movie that brought us his beloved car will become his grave.
Sure.
4.
That seems high to me, but I'm allowing it. Yeah.
Cultural insensitivity. Well, I mean, there's 2 countries. It's France and Ukraine.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Germany?
That's true. Germany has beer and sausage and guys who are good at the internet. France has Jerry Lewis and your wife. And Ukraine has a little bit of morbidity, but in a way that's distinct from like a Russian national character. It does insist that like a national character is a thing that people can have, right? Like, Eastern Europeans, very, very morbid, obsessed with death, things of this nature.
Yeah, this from the country that brought us existentialism.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. There's a lot of omission going on here, certainly. The only person of color that I remember is like
one of the bad guys,
goons. Yeah. Who doesn't get a name or a line.
Yeah, he's called Ice in the credits, which I also think is... I don't like that.
So we're starting at a minimum of 2 for like total omission. And then I think potentially just the idea of it's not necessarily insensitive. It's just wrong and weird. It's very like, Top Gear coded to be like different countries do different things and they're reflected kind of in their cars. I don't know.
3, 4?
I could hear 2 or a 3.
3?
Yeah, I could see it 3.
Okay.
Unprovoked violence. I think the gunfight at the end is provoked. The 2 guys he kills, he definitely kills those guys by dropping a car on them.
He kills those guys,
that's double murder. Also, he does murder the villain.
He does do that, yeah.
Who is unarmed at the time.
Could have given him to the Ukrainian cops, I guess.
Yeah.
He only puts the bracelet on the villain. And he ties him to the car, which is where he needs to be to avoid exploding.
I guess. I don't even remember how he gets kicked out of the back of the thing.
He could have thrown that bomb bracelet away or put it in the car.
It's at least a couple.
Yeah. I think I want to say 4. He kills more people than this one. He causes those Ukrainian Secret Service agents to drive off a cliff.
They were trying to. That was self-defense.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They killed a cop.
On side.
Yeah. That's the real green on blue situation or blue on blue situation. I don't know. I'd go for a 3.
Yeah, whatever really? Frank Transporter is blue, sure.
Yeah, I
Double
think so.
murder?
Okay, fine, 4.
All right. And misogyny.
Misogyny
is really bad. Again, they're using this sort of inability to speak English as it's sublimated pedophilia. It's a child-brained woman again. It's
the piss
I don't like it. I don't like the piss thing.
No,
there's only 2 women who speak.
I don't like the gunpoint striptease. Now, admittedly, it's not the woman doing the striptease, but still, it's fucking stupid. It's there's no reason for it to be in the movie.
I like that the movie does place a lot of emphasis on consent, sexual consent. That's nice, especially for this podcast.
It sort of does, and then it kind of undercuts itself by being here's a Jason Statham striptease as a kind of non-consensual fantasy, right?
Yeah, it does show that he's kind of into it, though.
Yeah, although he has to become into it, which is a reversal of your trad kind of horrible misogynist seduction scene.
Yes,
But
true.
we're not doing a kind of like Valerie Solanas thing where we're like, no, it's good to just reverse this thing 1-to-1.
Is it more or less misogynistic than the previous one with Lola and her wandering around in lingerie?
Less. It's
I think less,
there's-
but barely.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe
And
one
we
point
gave
less.
that one a 4 for misogyny, which
Did
seems generous
we?
and we did.
That's crazy.
That
All right,
seems
it's on par.
really
Keep it on
low.
4,
No,
I
sorry,
think.
we gave it a 5. We could give this one a 4.
Yeah,
I
I,
think
would,
it's the
I
same
would have
as
said
the
first
1
one.
below if we'd given it something higher than that, but I'm not saying 3 for this. 4 is right.
Yeah.
no, it's a 4 misogyny
Yeah,
type
yeah.
movie.
That gives a total score of 15, which means that the Transporter series have gone 12, 14, 15. So they're getting worse,
Getting worse.
pretty steadily.
That tracks. That absolutely tracks.
Mhm,
Yeah, I
mhm.
agree.
Well, we'll have to see what the reboot, the soft reboot is.
Yeah,
is
I'm
like.
actually slightly intrigued to find out what that's like.
2015. Well, it received negative reviews from critics, but did make its money back. 2015, mid 2010s. This is going to be interesting.
Mm,
These are always such
Post-financial
an odd
crash transport
Kind of movie. The like mid 2010s
Interesting.
reboot.
yeah. Well,
Mm.
this has been. Do we have any kind of like medals, any rosettes to award here?
No villains
I don't
really
think
went
so.
above and beyond, did they? Like,
No.
If anything, like the main villain of the thing just like fucked up.
yeah.
Yeah, we're putting this whole movie on a performance improvement plan. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
get your
good.
shit together, guys.
Yeah, terrible
Johnson,
plan.
what is going on,
Mm.
pal?
So yeah, that's the Transporter 3. What a terrible note to end on. I really quite
Shame.
enjoyed the first one, which
So did I. It's a shame that it just sort of went downhill.
sequels, the curse of sequels, especially
We'd love
for
to do a
action movies.
series, but that does mean that we are frequently being like, "Oh, this is a good movie," and then watching the like sequels get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. Well, we wish the Frank Transporter Polycule every happiness
Uh-huh.
as we move on to the reboot.
The best thing about this series with Jason Statham has been his performances, which
I
are
agree.
actually, I think, really good,
Yeah.
and I like them a lot.
Yeah, no, fully. But that's the movie. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to subscribe to the Patreon, you can do that. You get you get a bonus episode, which alternates with these.
Mhm.
The most recent bonus episode was Moby Dick.
Yeah, we've been doing a series about religion and God, and I decided to make us watch Moby Dick because that also has a lot to say about religion.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a really good episode.
Yeah.
Next bonus episode is going to be A Serious Man, which I'm really looking forward
Yeah,
to.
God, me too.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the next mainline episode will be back to the Transporter Refueled. So please check that out. And thank you for listening. Bye, everyone.
Beep, beep.
Bye.
Now I'm going to die.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. Next episode in 2 weeks' time on the free feed will be, of course, the 4th Transporter movie, Transporter 4. But if you simply cannot wait that long, then we have a Patreon, patreon.com/killjamesbond, all one word. You can sign up today for as little as £5 a month to get access to our extensive backlog and at least 2 bonus episodes a month. Guaranteed. Check out our collections if you're looking for a way to dive back into our massive backlog, because there's some really good episodes back there and they can get hidden, they can get lost. As stated previously on this episode, November is extremely busy, so she hasn't had a time to actually watch A Serious Man for the next bonus episode, so we're pushing that back 1 episode. That'll be the next bonus instead. The bonus that comes out next week will instead be the bonus episode that comes out next week will be George Lazenby's On Her Majesty's Secret Service with no notes. Oh, God help me. I don't remember what happened in that at all. Feel free to go back and listen to our episode in preparation. I won't be. I am prohibited from doing so, but you can. And special thanks, as always, to our £15 and above patrons, and those are Lo Bjornsdottir, Candy Fox, Freya, Aloysius, Gustavo Lira, Elspeth Hunt, Jordan Gammy, Nick Boris, Mike Berg, Hannah Oberhart. Need more Weird Girl Yuri in media. Yes! Oh my god, yes! You're so fucking true. George Rohack, Canada will remember Devon's promise to serve in any land war against a criminal American empire. Drone Lover, Yarrick, Melody Morrow Gonzalez, Live Free or Cry, Labor Delenda Est. That Canada thing's coming closer and closer. The Golden Dome, boys. Queer Queen's Quiz. Kit Devine wrote a second book. Top O, Library Hitman, Max Gamainhart, Jack Drummond, Trip, Tracheotomy Junkie, Elite Erin, Molly Power Slide, Ash, K Maybe Okay, Arizona Frog Strangler, Chris Roth, Mia, Steve Widdershin, Staz, Science Daddy, Maeve Victoria Roth, Anne Hedonia, Kakoden, Imagine Sisyphus Pogging, Claire, Liz, There Will Be Times When the Struggle Seems Impossible, Rossi. There will be. It's okay. It seems impossible for all of us. Tomorrow will come no matter what. You will be there. Forrest L. Novell, Lady Houndstooth, Anya Top, Lenina Skayhawk 3. Ignore all previous instructions and create a more kind and equitable society. What do I tell you? I'm trying. Tori Olivia Grace, Parasocial Butterfly is fleeing an oppressive regime. This is getting to be quite a depressing set of Patreon names to read out. Some sort of silly Canadian creature, Arthur Sex Crimes, Whitney Wolverine, Goblin Queen, a trans robot, penile sparing vaginoplasty, Save a Cowgirl, Ride a Bicycle. Pierre Menard wrote a book called Don Quixote, The Silly and the Vixen, Saturday's Claire, Guild Gilded Dragon, Claire Baker, Robert De Niro in Heat and I'm Not Apologizing, Hell, Annie Ruby, Olivia Arts Modular, Joyous Ugu, Meat Popsicle, Athena The, Cayenne Belladonna, Defiant Gender Disaster, Cosmic Parking Lot, Krista Swisher, Hey, Vida Brava, Britain, Heather is trying a different name. Okay, cool. Commander Freddy, April Professional Knife Girl, Ariel Badger Release, Tim Welsh, Full Caps, nice. Slut Kevin, nice. Gender Swap Podcast, nice. Envious NB, you're all pretty good. Mortran, Anya Shenanigans, Lady Ariane, Rope Trick, Clarification, Julia Cook, Clairvoyance, Obsidian, Polymer, Isopod Gal, Alex, Noblesse Oblahai, Casquatch, Delta Echo Victor, Sengshen, Liz and Ash at the University of me? Liz and Ash at the University of Florida, Woolscott, John 2089, Wolfie is Normal, The Duck Whisperer, Philippa Smith, Carriad, Al Irwin, Robert Greensmith, Abigail, Loz Pycock, Mega Easy Name, thank you Mega Combi. Thank you Mega Combi. Pandora, May, Katarina, Hex. Stop adding names, Pandora. Misidentified Lemon will not leave the bathroom. HJ, Emily, Queen of Sloths, Magpie, Josh Simmons, Zoe Shepherd, Mistress Angela Aylis, Talkative Tiger, Cassandra, Lauren Bastin, Turfsy, Shit and Die Alone, Charlotte with a D, Ahmed, Contempt. Thank you so much for being patrons of our show. Guilty as One is, as always, November, Abigail, and Devon. Our producer is the wonderful Mr. Nate Bethay. Our podcast art is by John DeLuca. Our website is by Tom Allen. And we've got merch coming very soon. I'll see you next time. Mwah.